Okay guys, this should be the second video. Somehow I messed up the title on the last one, but a little bit. But anyways, this should be the second part of Finite Geometric Series Word Problems, Part 2. Okay, let's get started. So, it says here, Alex earns $35,000 salary in his first year. Okay? Each year, he gets a 3% raise. Now, the key thing to understand, guys, is a 3% raise really means it's 0.03 for 3%. To get a 3% raise means it goes up, so you're going to times by 1.03. The 1 takes your original amount, in this case it's going to be 35,000, and then it's the 0.03 part adds the 3% to that whole part, you see? So, long story short, we learned in a previous video that whatever the sum is, in this case they're being generic, for n amount of years, you're going to start with the first amount, which we know in this case is 35,000. You're going to times that by 1 minus whatever the ratio is to the n power. So in our case, let me actually write it a little bit here lower. So our initial amount is 35,000. And now we're going to times that by 1 minus the ratio, as I just explained to you, is 1.03 times the previous one to the n power, divided by, in our formula, 1 minus r, the ratio. So in our case, it's going to be 1 minus 1.03. Now, if you do the math there, that's negative 0.03. And that's why the answer, if you look at it, is A. See, 35,000. There's your negative 0.03 at the bottom when you subtract them. Here's your 1 minus 1.03 to the n. So A would be the formula you would use for this problem. Okay? One more for part 2, and we're done with this little assignment, guys. Vince goes on a 3-day hike. So we already know we have a sum of 3 days, S sub 3. Each day he walks 3/4 the distance he walked the day before. Now, guys, the calculator that's on the computer, if you're forced to use it, does not do fractions. Does not have a fraction button. So what you're actually going to do is 3 divided by 4. That's what that is, right? And we're going to use 0.75 instead. 75 cents or 0.75, same thing as 3/4. I hope you know that anyways. But anyways, getting back to the problem. We have a 3-day hike. Each day he walks 3/4 of the day before. He's walking less a little bit each day, right? He's probably just getting tired, right? His total for the 3 days is 83.25 kilometers. So they just told us our sum is 83.25 kilometers. Stay with me, right? Normally, this is what we're trying to figure out. This time, they're asking for how much did he walk the first day, the day number 1, the initial amount of hiking he did. Well, we don't know that. That's what we call our A. And that A is going to times 1 minus. Now, our ratio, I hope you understand, is 0.75. Because it's 3 days, it's going to be a 3 power. Over 1 minus, and our ratio again, 3/4 is the same thing as 0.75. Now watch how I do this on the calculator, guys. You ready? I'm basically going to put these in parentheses again and divide them. So 1 minus 0.75 to the 3 power divided by 1 minus 0.75. Again, make sure you're using those parentheses to keep those parts together. In other words, you need a parentheses around the numerator, parentheses around the denominator, or a weird calculator like this one does not do it well. Now, what do we get? 2.3125. Now leave it in your calculator. Okay? Now what? if 83.25 equals A times 2.3125 or whatever it is, again, leave this in your calculator as I did. How do we find A here, our initial day of hiking? Well, all I'm going to do is divide by 2.3125, right? Both sides. Right? So that gives me A. So all I had to do was take 83.25, divide by the answer, which was there. Guys, start learning to use this answer button. That way you don't have to type in all these long numbers again, right? And it equals 36. So what we just figured out, guys, Vince walked 36 kilometers the first day, okay? And if we were to continue on the second day, he did 3/4 of 36. And I'm just going to do this in my head. That's 27, okay? And then he did 3/4 of 27 on the third day. And what would that be? Let me just kind of, I think I cut myself off there a little bit, but all I want to do was pause the video to save us some time here, okay? And so guys, check this out again, follow the red. The first day we know we figured out it was 36, right? Let's see if that works. If he hikes 36, the second day he's supposed to do 3/4 of that. So I went ahead and did that in my head. 3/4 of 36 means 27 kilometers on the second day. The third day, he did another 3/4 of that 27. And if you do the math here, guys, you get 20.25. Now check this out. So on the first day, if he does 36, the second day he does 3/4 of that, which is 27. The third day he does 3/4 of the 27, which is 20.25. If you add them up, you get what they told us was the overall total for all 3 days, right? 83.25 is what they told us right there. So that's how these work, guys. Hopefully everything I was showing you from beginning to end makes sense. Okay? I hope you practice this at least once. At least once. Maybe do it a couple of times to get really good with this formula, guys. It's going to come up sometime in your future math careers. I promise you. Know your finite geometric sequences and series, okay? See you around.